Hello and welcome to Connections for Life, a special edition. I'm Ted Peet.
I'm Chad Kuvo.
Joe Serrett.
As you guys can tell, it's a little bit of a different episode here. We have Adrianne Ward, our UPSCO's procurement manager, amongst many other hats she wears. Welcome to the show, Adrianne.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Adrianne.
Hi, Adrianne. It's good to see you.
You too.
That seems sarcastic.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, Adrianne, I don't know if you've probably seen these before. We've done a few of them. Obviously, our goal is to get an employee on, talk about kind of like what you do, talk about kind of your responsibilities at UPSCO, and kind of bring you to some of the audience that actually does deal with you from vendors and
Especially
things like that.
know
Maybe
you. Yeah.
right that maybe don't get a chance to. Also, I do know that you've been here a long time. Well, that's obviously going to be where we're going to head with these questions.
How dare you?
I know I jumped ahead, but the reality is that like you kind of in the very beginning dealt a lot in the sales world and spent a lot of time interfacing with customers. So I think having you on here makes a lot of sense because there's definitely a lot of people out there that know who you are, and maybe haven't had an opportunity to really see you or know a little bit more about you. So hopefully that's what we bring. But again, as we'll stick to tradition, and as Ted pointed out, how long have you been at UPSCO, Adrianne?
21 years in August.
Glorious years.
Long time.
Oh,
Ted, you talk about
start
us.
drinking now. You can start drinking now, Adrianne. You're allowed to start drinking this year. It's good.
I think you get your 4th week of vacation.
At work.
She's not at 4 yet.
That's
No way.
fantastic.
There's no way she's at 4 weeks of vacation yet. 2.5. Bet.
So Adrianne, I know you do wear a lot of hats, even still. I know you're the procurement manager. I know you do some estimating stuff for us. I know your mind is pretty much a vault of UPSCO knowledge, which I get to just piece apart every once in a while, try and swim through there and find what I need. But what does your job entail every day? What do you do for the company and essentially for the manufacturing process, I guess?
I mean, we review, mainly I'm over, deal more on the manufacturing side. I mean, I do some distribution stuff, but mainly it's manufacturing stuff. Coordinating with
Hard to talk about what you do
vendors
every day, isn't it?
I know, it's hard.
That's
Okay. I almost have to write it down.
That's
it's
okay.
Like, jump all over the place.
Take your time. Like, no worry. Like, honestly, like, I think you do so much that I think
really
trying to just to describe it all is kind of difficult, but just the overview would be fine.
Right.
Obviously in procurement and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's procurement stuff. You buy parts, make sure you're getting parts on time, review drawings.
You can make it sound more exciting,
It's not, well,
Really
to expedite things.
Yeah.
I think one of the cool things, Adrianne, I've obviously worked with
Ours
you
is mainly putting out fires.
Right.
Yeah.
Deal with vendors.
But a lot of the things that you do have to do with the quotes, drawings, specs, sourcing, pricing. There's you hold a
Negotiating, you do all that.
Right, a hand in all that. I think the unique thing, and maybe most of our viewers don't know this, is that as we tape this, we're all at home, right? I'm at home, and you guys are all at home, but you're always at home.
Yeah.
So
For 13,
yes.
For 13 years, I've been at home.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I mean, your transition from the office and then getting out on the road, and maybe what that looks like and how it's different for you.
Well, to adjust to this phase was not an adjustment at all because I'm used to working from home.
Sure.
But
So
when I started to work from home,
it was easy for you.
right, it was easy for me. It was harder for me to adjust to everybody else working from home.
That's a real problem, though.
Yeah,
Think about that. Like, that's something that, like,
Great
you
point.
couldn't have imagined when we walked into COVID. The people who are used to working at home, and then the people who never worked from home had to adjust to working from home. But the people who are working from home are like, where's my resources? Where's my inside stuff?
Yes,
Where's this? Where's that? And they were navigating stuff. So that's a great point, Adrianne.
Right. Well, your response time seems to be a little slower, I guess.
Delayed.
It's tougher.
Takes a little
It's tougher.
longer to get answers
Sure.
because that's just it. You can't. Somebody's not walking down the hall
not,
to get you the information anymore. I mean, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
adjust.
as salespeople,
I
we
noticed
still
that I
scream
drink a
about it.
lot more coffee now that everybody's working from home.
I drink decaf coffee, which everybody picks on me about. So everybody that's
Weird.
watching, next time you see me, I
Weird.
drink decaf coffee. You can pick on me for that.
He doesn't need any caffeine, guys. For anybody who doesn't know Joe, he does not need any caffeine.
I wanted to point out that if you've called in the last 14 weeks, probably since like March 15th or something like that, except for a few weeks here and there, if you have called our office, you have spoken to Adrianne most likely. She's been she was the person to take the reins and pick up the phone through all this, which has been really helpful. I mean, it's amazing.
Amongst all of your other duties.
Yeah, amongst all the other things, especially from a customer's point of view, Adrianne, like there's still somebody picking up the phone, and that's pretty important. And I want to say thank you. I know I've told you that before when we've talked about it offline, but I think it's important. It's an important thing for when our customers call there to talk to somebody, especially somebody that's going to help. So that's I just wanted to point that out in the middle.
Yeah,
of
and I
this.
think you've done it from 2 different locations, right? You were in
Texas,
and then
which
you
is even funnier.
decided to move in the middle of COVID. So now you're self-growth.
I decided to move last year. COVID just happened. When I was
it was a kind of I mean,
good timing.
Not a bad time, right? Exactly. One of the things we love to ask everybody, Adrianne, around on the show is like, what is your favorite memory from UPSCO? I mean, over the course
21
of
years,
you probably have a few memories back there that.
Lots of memories.
Yeah,
some of which
preferably
we
one
can't discuss on this.
Right.
Yep.
I was gonna
Hey,
say, let's talk
regulations
about
and rules you got to follow. You can't say certain things here.
We're gonna stick with the PG-13
Pump
version,
the brake.
okay? So let's stick there. But no, seriously, I know that in my 10 years, I could probably count 1 million stories. So in 21 years, you probably have 10 million stories, especially since how much this place has changed since when you started versus where we are today. But what's your favorite memory? Is there one that sticks with you?
I don't know if there's any particular one. When we were a lot smaller, we were in the old building, we always had, break time was like when everybody came together. You knew everybody, company was small, everybody kind of either came together outside or in the break room or whatever, and you'd get that time with, a lot of the guys
with everybody.
Camaraderie,
yeah,
essentially.
you have that, and it's, I will say, I miss that.
You don't like the people in your break room where you currently work? You don't like the people in the break room at your current job locale?
Every time I go in there, my husband's in the break room. I can't even deal with it.
I can't even get anything done.
No, but that's a great point, and that's a really solid point. There is that I think that's a thing that maybe I know that I feel because I did spend so much time in the building too. My initial time at UPSCO, and that camaraderie is something that when you're not in the building, even just these times, you just lose that.
Right.
I mean, back then, like you said, there was probably how many employees that worked at UPSCO? I mean, if you had to guess.
That worked at UPSCO?
Yeah.
It was less than 50, I'd say.
Okay, so I mean, you had a group of people that were probably close knit.
To put that in perspective for our audience, though, for those who don't know, we're over double that now. So that's I joined the organization 2 years ago, and we were over double that. So that puts a timeline on it, but that's really
pretty wild.
amazing growth.
I think honestly, when I started, we were around 55 to 60 employees. Maybe I'm a little low, but we weren't much more than that 10 years ago. So yeah, we've certainly increased headcount and grown quite a bit. I think.
When you look how much we've grown, it's amazing.
Oh, it is
absolutely.
Amazing. It's been really good.
And you've been here for all of it. I mean, it's that's
cool.
got to be
pretty
neat too, right? Absolutely. Chad.
Oh, probably the last question we always ask people. Well, maybe not the last one. There could be one more.
Yeah, I got the last one.
No, it's not that one. No, it's not that one yet. But you've been here for 21 years. There's a reason that you are here and you stay here. What makes working here great? I mean, there's all good things you can talk about, but there's a few things that you can probably point out to everybody to let them know. Other than Joe, jeez.
Yeah.
Always me, buddy. It's always me. Always.
Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah.
Just ask. Yeah, that's right.
We had that love-hate relationship going. I did for a while.
Love to hate.
For a while. Well, wait a minute. I want to preface that with something. And I wasn't going to go there, but I'm going to go there now. What everybody needs to understand.
You guys want me to mute him?
What everybody needs to understand about Adrianne is that no matter who you are, she has to put you through like 1 year of hell to see if you're going to actually make it here.
I did.
And I had the
Awful.
unenviable position of being the person that had to work with Adrianne every single day. So one of my favorite stories, even though you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you, is, and you know where I'm going with this, is I used to call her up and she would get mad at me and say, I'm not talking to you for 2 days. And she'd hang up the phone. And dude, day one would go by and I'd call like the end of the day and she just wouldn't answer the phone. And day two would come and go, and then it was like 48. It had to be the exact time, and I'd call her, and she'd be like, "I told you I wasn't gonna talk to you for 2 days." Like that's how my first a year of UPSCO went, and then obviously I stuck, so I made it. But you always would put everybody through the paces. You're kind of like that gatekeeper, for the inside people. Always
you made it.
We made it.
All right. So what makes working at UPSCO great though? Besides Joe.
Yeah, what is it?
UPSCO was great before Joe.
What is your answer, Adrianne? Other than Joe, what do you think it is?
I would say it was. They're flexible. It's you got stuff going on, family stuff. Whatever. As long as your work's done, your head's in the game. You get a lot of flexibility.
It's a family environment. That's probably a better way, a good way to sum it up.
It's family oriented, and you get a lot of support.
Absolutely.
All right, so
I'm going to jump in, but how long did you work at the facility before you went?
8 years.
So you were at home.
Can you do the math?
Office for 8 years.
8 years. 8 years.
13.
Okay. That's kind of along the same lines, though. What makes working at UPSCO great is that flexibility piece. Because I assume when you knew that you had to move, you thought that was probably the end of my time at UPSCO, and they gave you the flexibility to be able to move to Texas from New York and continue your position. And still 13 years later,
now you live in Honolulu or wherever you are.
That'd be nice.
Hey.
I need to come visit today. So
we got work to talk about down there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Ted,
I'm going to close us out
because,
here with the last one because we ask everybody this, and I think we're yet to get like a straight answer, but I think we might be getting one from you.
No, if you will.
Who's your favorite UPSCO sales guy?
What is it? Inside sales, outside sales?
Sales.
We were really just narrowing it down. It was really just narrowed down to 3.
That
best answer ever.
That's it. You don't have to answer anymore. I love it.
Nope, I don't like anybody. You all stink.
And that's a microcosm of my first full year at UPSCO, right there.
And with that,
and that's the end of the show, folks.
No, I know that's always a really difficult position. No one's ever going to answer that question. No. And if anybody does, we'll grill them to death over it. So we totally understand that's kind of a foo-foo question. But I just want to say from my end is that I've learned an absolute ton from you. And I've always, regardless of our challenges, right? Like we had some in the beginning. We've become really good friends, and I'm somebody that I can consider a friend, and I that's a part of this job that again I want to just accentuate is that's
the connection.
That's what makes working part of what makes working here awesome. Right.
Exactly. Thank you, Adrianne.
So pointing to you guys on the screen.
I normally don't say it or anything, but just thanks for all that you do and all the tent poles that you hold up for all of us.
Seriously.
Because a lot of this stuff we don't see happens behind the scenes, and you guys are the promise keepers to our promises. So just from me and all the stuff that you've ever done for me and all the work you've put in, thank you.
And from everybody, really.
Yeah,
you could speak for all of us, Joe. It's true.
Absolutely.
Every time I do that, I get in trouble, so I'm just gonna speak for myself right now.
Good point.
We try.
Well, you do a great job. We really appreciate you taking some time out of, we know your busy, hectic day to join us here on the show, and we really can't thank you enough. So with that being said, I'm not going to say without further ado, we're going to end the show.
You just did.
All right, but till next week, thanks everybody. Keep looking,
thank you guys.
Watching the show, subscribing, all that. Let us know some feedback on this stuff, and thanks everyone. Thank you, Adrianne.
Thank you.